Some firsts are awesome, like the first time driving a car with your license, first job, first date, first trip to a meaningful place, first apartment, condo, home. Other firsts are not and coincide with someone's passing, like a first missed birthday, anniversary, or holiday. For those who know me, you may remember that my dad passed away in March. Today is the first Father's Day that I can't call my dad. I couldn't send a card, and I didn't rush to UPS with my kids' cards and a batch of homemade brownies with nuts. And if you're in the no nut camp, we really need to talk. There's nothing like a homemade card that my teens still make for all occasions. When cleaning his desk in recent months, I came across some of the cards my kids have made him over the years. Despite the major lump in my throat, sadness in my eyes, and overall cloudy thoughts, I choose today to make it brighter and share some of the life lessons my dad taught me. My dad was always instilling life lessons or teaching how to do something, whether you liked it or not. And here are a few of my favorite ones. Do your best. DYB. If you have read any of my content before, you have heard me say this. If my dad wanted to be known for anything, it would be this phrase. We've carried it down each generation. DYB is not the same as being perfect, though he did like things just so. Wonder where I get that from. The older I get, the more I learned that the aim for perfection was to help stretch you farther than what was just comfortable. Or as I shared in a previous newsletter, number 22, good enough. His whole DYB philosophy was anchored in belief that people are capable of doing so much more than they think they can. Many people settle for good enough and leave much on the table, whether that be sales, opportunities, memories, capabilities, grades, fill in the blank of what it could be. Well, on my recent Disney cruise, it seemed fitting to read Bob Iger's book, The Ride of a Lifetime, Lessons Learned from 15 Years as CEO of the Walt Disney Company, which was one of the best business books I've read in a long time. I didn't want it to end. Mr. Iger, calling him Bob seems like I know him. Mr. Iger, too formal, but more appropriate. Anyways, he also talks about pushing teams. My takeaway wasn't that it had to be 100% perfect, but pretty darn close, because that's what customers expect, and that's what people are more than capable of. Only focusing on being perfect is also not the point. DYB is where you push through, just past that point where you think this is fine, to giving it all you got without hurting yourself. As an avid Peloton rider, the instructors are constantly reminding people that they can do the hard hill or just ride a little longer. It's not about being a certain number on the leaderboard. It's about doing a personal best. And perhaps that's why it shows your personal record. Show emotions. My dad was an emotional guy. He'd cry during the Hallmark movie. Yes, he liked watching those with my mom. He also loved football games and superhero movies. I think he cried at all the big events in my life: graduation, wedding, births. They were tears of joy and pride. He told us all the time he loved us. Professionally, he showed appropriate emotions like joy and sadness when he talked with people. You know, the bigger than life personality? That was my dad. Well, there is a balance of just how much emotion to show and when. I also think sometimes it's been pushed the opposite direction, with people showing nothing. We have enough AI around. Who really wants a robotic person on the Zoom call, coffee chat, or just hearing those words in a monotone voice? Nice job. I think it's okay to embrace the emotions we humans have. It's what makes us such a cool and special species. He taught me the importance of telling people how you feel to encourage them. Think in your life, who could benefit from hearing how amazing they are? When was the last time you told them? Maybe it's time for a reminder. Connect with people. Piggybacking on showing emotion, my dad knew how to really connect with people. You know that expression, someone could talk to a wall? Well, that's my dad. He knew how to strike a conversation with anyone, anywhere, anytime. How did he do it? He asked people questions that got them talking about themselves. He loved giving compliments. He noticed a smile, a clothing garment, a piece of jewelry. He wanted people to feel good about themselves. He asked enough questions until he found a common connection point. He was in sales his entire life. He also never stopped learning. He was listening to the gurus of his era, and some of these teachers are still around, such as Tom Hopkins, Dale Carnegie, Zig Ziglar, and so many others. While they teach so many different aspects of sales, one of the constants is to really find a way to connect with your prospects and customers. As a kid sandwiched between my two brothers on 18-hour road trips, forced to listen to these sales cassette tapes, which I hear are making a comeback. I didn't appreciate their wisdom. Now I do. And I'm convinced their messages seeped into my brain while my parents thought we were sleeping. Buying something is an emotional purchase, even if it's B2B. People buy when they like someone, then trust them. It's easier to do that when you get to know someone. While there are oodles of studies and statistics and articles, I liked the easy to understand explanation of this one. Understanding consumer psychology buying decisions has become the cornerstone of effective market research in today's consumer driven economy. While traditional marketing focused primarily on logical benefits and features, groundbreaking research reveals that 95% of purchasing decisions are subconscious, driven by emotional responses rather than rational analysis. At Research and Metric, they've spent years analyzing the intricate relationship between the psychology of purchasing and consumer behavior, uncovering insights that transform how businesses connect with their audiences. And for anyone thinking this just impacts B2C, so not true. Contrary to popular belief, B2B purchases involve even stronger emotional components than B2C transactions. The higher stakes and longer term implications of business decisions amplify emotional factors. Needing to influence within an organization? The idea of connection, like, and trust applies internally too. Your business stakeholders might not care as much about privacy as you do. They will listen to those they have an emotional connection to. The time spent to truly get to know someone will yield dividends in a work sense. Admit mistakes. He was adamant about telling the truth, and his view was when you make a mistake, own it and state the truth. My dad taught me that integrity is central to character in all of life's relationships, friends, family, and professional. I recently overextended myself and in the process made a few people less than happy with me. The easy route would be to hide by email. The harder, more appropriate path was to pick up the phone and explain my situation. Was it hard? Absolutely. Was it the right thing to do to smooth a relationship that means a great deal to me? Yes. Email and text lose tone of voice and context. When you have to speak your thoughts immediately and see and hear the person's response, it makes the exchange harder, yet more truthful. Always take the more truthful and right path, even if it's harder. Be scrappy and creative. My dad didn't like to waste anything. My prior post about him highlighted just how much stuff he collected, and sometimes it was useful. A glass jar really can be cleaned and makes a great holder for something else, like pencils or small knickknacks. My daughter picked this habit up and uses them to store beads, sewing items, or any of her other many crafting hobbies. You never know what random household item you'll need for a school project or a prop to hold something up that might fall. While he probably didn't need reams of scrap paper, the idea of cutting a letter-sized piece of paper into 4 rectangles really is useful. Not as pretty as regular scratch or note paper, but serves the same purpose. In fact, I can't actually buy pretty scrap paper or post-it notes because I have his Be Resourceful ingrained. Folders can be repurposed for those still using paper. And let's be honest, who hasn't regifted a gift bag? Either in business or personally, being scrappy means questioning, do I really need this new thing? Or can I make do with what I have? How far can this dollar really stretch? How can I save money for the company? What's a more budget-friendly option? Get hands-on. My dad was active and always wanted to do something with his hands, and typing definitely didn't count. As a kid, he was a drummer in an actual band. He made kit airplanes, took apart cars, and eventually had all the tools Sears would sell him. Remember Craftsman, anyone? And he could also be called a woodworker, gardener, tree chopper, and could fix anything. Who needed YouTube when I had my dad? And this same man, after walking in from a Sunday in the yard, all dirty, loved fashionable clothes, getting dressed up, and nothing made him more proud than to take my mom out for a nice evening. While I didn't get most of his fix-it skills, he did teach me how to use real tools. I came to my marriage with my own toolbox, and I'm not afraid of getting dirty or messy. Now I prefer to hike outside than chop trees. Yes, I really helped my dad use a log splitter and carry all the new firewood into the house. The biggest lesson of all, I have a huge appreciation for the value of hard work, whether it's physical labor or the feeling after successfully completing a big work project. For him, using his hands was his outlet where his creative juices flowed, and it was therapeutic for him. What's that for you? For some, it's sports, hiking, traveling, or cooking. Find your outlet and dive deep. A positive attitude. My dad was a glass half full guy and passed that down to me. I have on my walls the successory poster on attitude. That's how strongly I believe in it. Taking a picture with a glass front is tricky to get it not to reflect everything else in the room. So here's what it actually looked like, courtesy of Flickr. Be sure to check them out. Life is hard, and people have real challenges that could be at work, parenting, health, family, financial, friends, dreams, and more. Despite however big the challenges in my life have been, and they have been big, I take each day at a time and overall a half full approach. A positive attitude helps build resiliency to reframe the obstacles as bumps in the road that need creative solutions. Thank you for allowing me to share a little bit more about the special man who shaped who I am today. I hope one of these lessons resonates with you. To all the dads out there, I hope you had an amazing Father's Day.